Rick is clearly sick, but that he was in very good spirits.
Apparently there's no cure for him, but the wife of a Massachusetts doctor is hopeful he'll survive the deadly Ebola virus. I'll tell you when he's expected to arrive back in the United States and where he'll be treated starting today.
Plus, he's a dangerous homegrown terrorist who got his education right here in Boston. Why the feds think this former Stoughton man might be working with ISIS militants.
And was he trying to skip town? A supervisor at the center of the deadly meningitis outbreak at a Framingham pharmacy arrested at Logan Airport. It's all right now on the Fox 25 Morning News at 6.
This is Fox 25 Morning News.
Well, hello there and happy Friday to all of you. Welcome into the 6 o'clock hour of the Fox 25 Morning News on this September 5th.
Yeah, got a lot going on. We'll update all of our top stories for you, but another day with a very summer-like feel to it here in September.
Summer-like feel, and the weekend, Sarah, it's not going to be a total washout like you said, so you got to get out there where you can and make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's not going to be all-day rain. In fact, we're only looking at one portion of the weekend where we could see the threat of those showers and storms, and that's Saturday afternoon and evening, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But right now, waking up this morning, mostly clear. However, some areas are seeing some fog out there in places like New Bedford and the Vineyard, under a quarter-of-a-mile visibility. So take it easy this morning as you head out. But you can see not much happening in the weather department with clouds and radar across the New England area, which is a great thing. So today, lots of sunshine. It's going to warm up pretty nicely. Already in the 60s out there right now. The dew points were in the 60s. Temperatures in the 60s. That's why we saw the low visibility in some spots. But that's why it's also quite sticky, and that's what we'll experience as we head on through the day today, because we're going to be seeing the humidity increase, and it's going to feel quite uncomfortable as we head into our Saturday. In fact, that's when we'll have the best chance of those showers and storms in the afternoon and evening, and then a return to much less humid, cooler weather. I'm going to talk all about that coming up in just a little bit. Jane, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Sarah. Developing this morning, new details about a Massachusetts doctor diagnosed with Ebola. Dr. Rick Sacra is en route to a hospital in Nebraska where he will receive treatment. He's expected to arrive there sometime this morning.
Sacra lives in Holden and was working as a maternity doctor in Liberia when he contracted the deadly virus. Melissa Mahan is here now with us, and she has the latest. Good morning, Melissa.
Shannon, Jean, good morning. Dr. Sacra will be quarantined in a special isolation unit when he arrives at the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha later this morning. A team of 35 doctors and staff will keep him hydrated and monitor his vital signs. Now, all of those caregivers will be required to wear biohazard suits. According to infectious disease specialists, Dr. Sacra's treatment will be difficult since the experimental drug that was used to help the first 2 Americans who contracted Ebola has run out. Doctors at Nebraska Medical Center say they are now looking into other treatment options.
There are 2 other products that have been used primarily in monkeys. They have some theoretical basis as antivirals of interest, but the experience is extremely limited, and the knowledge of toxicity is limited. So I think we've been trying to collect as much information as we can about these, talk to the different experts at the CDC and at Emory and other places where they've looked at them, and we'll sit down and talk to the patient and try to look at the risks and benefits and whether we think it'll help and whether it's safe.
Now, Dr. Sacra is the 3rd American infected with the Ebola virus. The 2 others were treated at Emory Hospital in Atlanta. They did both make full recoveries and have been released from the hospital. Now, Dr. Sacra's wife is awaiting his arrival right now. She is asking for prayers for her husband. During a press conference at UMass Medical School, Debbie Sacra said that she spoke to the doctor who was with her husband when he boarded the plane to come back to the U.S. Dr. Sacra apparently walked onto that plane by himself. He was said to be in good spirits. Debbie said her husband dedicated his life to the people of Liberia, and they both knew the risks when he went back to that country in August.
We are indeed praying that Rick will stay longer with us so that he can continue the good works that he has done in Liberia and also caring for patients and teaching family practice residents in Worcester. But he would want you to know that he would not be afraid to pass into eternal life.
Now, as we mentioned, Sacra has a home in Holden, but he has spent much of his time overseas. He's a family practice doctor in Worcester and an associate professor at the UMass Medical Center. Now, again, Dr. Sacra is expected to arrive at the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha sometime this morning. We're going to continue monitoring the situation. We'll bring you coverage all morning long, and we'll let you know as soon as he arrives back here in the U.S. Shannon, back to you.
All right, Melissa, thank you. The search continues this morning for a Massachusetts man who may be playing a key role in recruiting ISIS fighters. years. The feds say the Stoughton native may be using his computer skills to help commit jihad. Fox 25's Joy is live in Stoughton this morning with the latest for us. Good morning, Joy.
Good morning, Shannon. Yeah, one of the most wanted men in the world. Investigators say he grew up right here in Stoughton, attended local schools, raised in the ways of the West here in Massachusetts, and investigators say he's part of a growing movement to get more Americans to join the cause of jihad. This is 33-year-old Ahmed Abu Samra, one of the FBI's most wanted terrorists. He is wanted for a host of federal charges, but the new fear is he might be working for ISIS. According to an ABC News report, he may be actively working to attract defected Westerners, including Americans, to join the group, who has posted 2 videos of their gruesome beheadings of 2 American journalists. Abu Samra was born in France, but he grew up here in the Boston area in Stoughton. He attended Zavarian Brothers Private Catholic School in Westwood and graduated from Stoughton High before going on to Northeastern University, where he made the dean's list and then getting a telecommunications degree from UMass Boston. Intelligence officials say computer skills make him very valuable to ISIS, who is extremely active across social media.
He's somebody who knows the English language, somebody who is obviously taken into the jihad crusade. He's going to use those skills, the language skills and social media skills that he's probably developed here in the United States, to try and do what ISIS is doing. They're trying to recruit from within the Western civilizations, the Western countries, and try and get more people into their fight against our country and other countries like England.
Abu Samra certainly not the only local man answering the call to jihad. In 2009, he was indicted alongside Sudbury resident Tarek Mahana on charges of conspiring to support al-Qaeda. Mahana, his childhood friend, is currently serving a 17-year prison sentence after his conviction, but Abu Samra fled this area in 2006 after federal agents questioned him at his Mansfield home. He is now believed to be in Syria in ISIS-controlled territory. Federal agents tell Fox 25 that capturing him is a top priority, and they're offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to his capture. We're live in Stoughton this morning. Joy Lim-Nakrin, Fox 25 News.
Joy, thank you. A local pharmacist who is facing federal charges for his role in the deadly meningitis outbreak is arrested at Logan Airport. Prosecutors say he was trying to leave the country in the wake of the NECC scandal, but his lawyer says it's all a misunderstanding. Catherine Pratt is here now with the latest for us. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning, Gene. Glenn Chin's attorney has requested a probable cause hearing, and that's been set for Thursday, September 11th. For now, Chin is on house arrest wearing a GPS monitoring device. FBI agents followed Chin from his home in Canton to Logan Airport, where they arrested him as he was attempting to board a flight out of the country with his family. This is 46-year-old Glenn Chin walking out of federal court wearing a T-shirt that said "Life is wonderful." Chin was supervising, he was a supervising pharmacist in one of the clean rooms at New England Compounding Center. The company was making injectable back medication that was contaminated, leading to a nationwide outbreak of fungal meningitis in 2012. Right now, Chin is being charged with 1 count of mail fraud for allegedly fraudulently labeling and signing off on a lot of medication that was shipped to Michigan. Federal prosecutors say 200 people got sick from that shipment that Chin was directly responsible for, and 14 died. Chin's attorney says his client wasn't trying to flee the country, but was headed to a cousin's wedding in Hong Kong and had a return ticket. We spoke with one victim from the outbreak. Here's what he said about the news of Chin's arrest.
I think that's great that they actually have someone that they're going to hold accountable. It sounds like he was, very instrumental and partook in the reasons why this whole meningitis, fungal meningitis, occurred. Using non-sterile and then instructing others to put on there that it was sterile. I mean, that's lying, and that's basically not being honest.
Now, during a probe of the pharmacy, officials say they found a leaking boiler next to the clean room, as well as dirty floor mats where people were supposed to wipe their feet before going into the sterile environment. Investigators found the company didn't sterilize its products long enough, and they say black specks of fungus were found in sealed vials of steroids. Now, if Chin is convicted of mail fraud, he could face up to 20 years in prison. Shannon, over to you.
All right, Catherine, thank you. New this morning, a dump truck hits an overpass in Foxboro, ripping the back right off the truck. Happened last night around 10 o'clock on 495 North. Foxboro Fire Department says the dump truck hit the Route 106 overpass. Body of the truck was left in the middle of the road, and the cab ended up in the woods. Part of the truck hit a Jeep driving by. 2 injuries were reported. 1 person was taken to the hospital. Last September, another dump truck hit the same overpass. This morning, though, the debris has been cleaned up and the roads are open for commuters.
6:09 this morning, still coming your way. It is a big wedding weekend. Saturday looking shaky, though. Sarah's got the latest in her full forecast after the break.
All right, plus you can hear the pure terror in their voices. We have the 911 calls from this week's shark encounter in Plymouth.
And as we pay tribute to Joan Rivers, we're learning more about the funeral plans for the comic legend. If her wishes are carried out, it could be quite the affair. What's going on, Vivi?
Fed's very interested in capturing this alleged dirtbag for ISIS. Oh, and it turns out he's a local. Isn't that great? We're going to let it rip on that when we come back.
All right, let's check the roadways right now. Skyfox is up and out over 128 Route 1 in Dedham. We're outside our studios. Go ahead and wave, Shannon.
Hello.
Route 1 North moving right along. You come up from the Walpole Mall to outside our Dedham studios here. So if you're using that to get on the highway, yeah, it's a good ride. 128 North, no major problems once you get on the highway from Route 109 in Dedham all the way up to the Western Tolls as you get on the Pike. Expressway northbound, slow ride from the Braintree split to Granite Ave in Milton. Route 3 North, just south of there, you're busy at Union Street in Braintree. 93 South, you're jammed up. 495 in Andover to Cloverleaf in Woburn. And Route 1 South, you've got some company, but no major slowdowns. Carter Street and Chelsea to the Tobin Bridge.
Good morning, everybody. Maria Stefanos.
And I'm Mark Oxlund. The Patriots media avail coming up this morning. Will we learn more about Tom Brady?
We know he's suffering from some kind of calf injury. What's the status for Sunday? And for past that, we'll have an update for you tonight.
2 women frightened beyond belief when a great white shark goes after one of their kayaks. This happened Wednesday in Plymouth when the women were kayaking off Manamet Point. Both women were okay, but their call to 911 shows just how terrifying the ordeal was.
Oh, I was just on the phone with somebody. We're stuck in the water and there's a shark.
Okay, ma'am, the harbor master is on the way there. Where are you now?
How long are they going to be?
Where are you? Are you in the kayak, ma'am?
Yes, but he knocked me out of my kayak.
Sharks are known to confuse things like kayaks and surfboards for seals. As a precaution, the harbor master and the Massachusetts Environmental Police will continue patrols in the area, and some of the nearby Plymouth beaches are also closed to swimmers, which is a shame, Sarah, because today's a great beach day.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be gorgeous, and you can see we've got that hazy sunshine coming up right now, and that is going to be the story of the day today. Triple H weather, hazy, hot, and humid. We do have some lower clouds out there due to the dew points rising, and temperature is quite similar, so you get some low visibility, and you can see that sun coming up quite hazy right now. 68 degrees in Boston. And I want to point out there is some wet weather on our satellite and radar map through the middle part of the country. We're going to be watching this because this is all going to be moving eastward, and this is what's going to be bringing us the threat of some showers and storms for the beginning part of the weekend, but not the complete weekend. It's not going to be a washout. That's some good news. But today, just gorgeous out there. Mostly sunny skies. Again, some low clouds across the region thanks to the combination of those temperatures and dew points quite similar right now. You can see temperatures mainly in the 60s, 58 in Orange, 68 in Boston, but we will see temperatures quickly rise with that sun. So expect to see temperatures get into the mid to upper 80s, if not near 90 degrees. Winds out of the southwest will increase that humidity, so it's going to get pretty sticky. And here we are taking a look at the conditions along the coast. So if you are headed to the beach, waves running about 1 to 2 feet. For the Cape and Islands, temperatures mainly in the upper 70s to low 80s. I'll take that, right? 85 in Gloucester, a little bit milder as you head further inland and up north. That's where we'll see temperatures close to near 90 in some spots. Areas of fog likely again tonight as we'll see clouds increasing. Temperatures will fall back only into the upper 60s to low 70s. A mild start to your day. Temperatures once again above average in the mid 80s. It's going to be very humid, and I know a lot of folks have some weddings for Saturday. It's going to be one of those you want your hair up kind of days. It's going to be sticky, and we're also going to have to keep an eye at the sky for the threat of some showers and storms. In fact, we could see the slight risk of some severe storms with some very heavy downpours that could lead to some localized flooding, and also the potential of some damaging wind gusts, something we'll have to keep an eye on. So let's take a look at the timeline of those showers. Today, it's fine. Sunny, hot. It's going to be gorgeous. It's going to be hot again tomorrow, and it's going to feel very tropical. And that means we've got a lot of moisture in the air, and any showers that do develop could produce those very heavy downpours. After 1 o'clock, that's where we keep an eye to the sky. They could continue on through the evening hours, and notice around 7 o'clock. that line of showers and storms. The good news is it's out of here after midnight. And as we take a look at that 7-day forecast, you can see on Sunday we have clearing skies, cooler conditions, and it will be much less humid. So Sunday, definitely the pick of the weekend. But today, hot, hazy, and humid. Over to you guys.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. Time to talk a little bit more about a troubling situation. The FBI is now offering a $50,000 reward for the capture of a guy named Ahmad Abu Samra, who they believe may be doing social media for ISIS. Oh, by the way, he was formerly of Mansfield. He apparently went to Zavarian Brothers for a couple years and then graduated from Stoughton High School. He's been on the run since 2006. They say it's a top priority to get this guy. He's apparently an associate of Tariq Mahana, who, of course, you remember, is now serving 17 years, I think it is, on some terror-related charges after he was convicted. But they believe that he's sort of a key figure with ISIS here in terms of dealing with their social media campaigns, and he's got very good computer skills, so he would be incredibly valuable to them. And now they think he's somewhere over there in Syria.
Well, there's been some talk on, some people, is ISIS here or not? I think it's naive to suggest or think that they're not here in some way, shape, or form. And what's more troubling, VB, is they have a fair amount of Americans who are in their terror organization working with them and close to home again. We see this.
My first thought when I read this story and read what they were claiming this guy is those free Tariq people, thank you. I was laughing at you then. I'm laughing even harder at you now. Forget about it, okay? This is one of his best buddies, allegedly. This is a guy he was plotting with, allegedly. And now we read who this guy is, but yet Tariq was just an innocent kid who wrote some stuff down but wasn't doing it, really? Okay, thank you. We'll keep Tariq in jail for now. As for this guy, I'm trying to piece together this timeline. He graduates Stoughton High in '99, goes to Pakistan in '02, goes to Yemen in '04, then graduates UMass Boston in '06, is indicted in '09, but has long since fled the country. When did he move to Syria? When did we lose track of this guy? Because it seemed like he was around for a while, and they knew enough about him that when he went to Yemen in '04, they stopped him and were questioning him fairly vigorously, and yet we did lose the guy.
I mean, it makes you wonder what concern there was. Obviously, if they think he's been on the run since 2006, he couldn't have been that high of a priority at the time. But they must have enough intelligence now to know that he's obviously working closely with ISIS and working for them. I mean, it's incredibly unsettling.
And I would think a high priority target, not only because he's American, but because of his computer skills and everything else that he apparently brings to the table, if you will, for that terror organization, because he sounds like, if what we read is true, that he's a guy who's really helping them coordinate everything as far as online and that type of stuff.
And again, it shows you how crazy ISIS is. Remember, one of the stories in the Mahana case was that he couldn't join Al-Qaeda. They didn't want him, and we're all like, how does that make any sense? Well, apparently ISIS will take these guys. Not only will they take them, they'll make you one of their leaders, and that's what's scary about ISIS, right? So, A, they're here. B, they are, wow, they are nuts. Even Al-Qaeda had standards compared to them.
Sad. MyFoxBoston.com if you'd like to weigh in on this. We'd love to hear from you.
Got to take a break. We'll continue the Fox 25 Morning News after this break.
Fox 25 Morning News is more unique because of the interaction with the viewers.
Local news from local people. Fox 25 Morning News.
Welcome back and happy Friday, 6:24 this morning. Skyfox up and over the expressway at Neponset Street in Quincy right now. Expressway northbound, you have a 15-mile-per-hour crawl heading from the Braintree split to Granite Ave in Milton. 24 north, a slow ride traveling from Route 123 in Brockton up to Route 139 in Stoughton, moving towards 128 in Randolph. 93 south, a 30-mile-per-hour ride from 495 in Andover to Montvale Ave in Woburn as you get closer to Boston this morning. Route 3 south, you're moving right along from Trouble Cove Road in Billerica to the Zachem and Tobin bridges this morning.
She was sharp-tongued and a trailblazer. Comedic legend Joan Rivers has died. Rivers was taken off life support yesterday afternoon at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. The 81-year-old went into cardiac arrest a week ago during a procedure on her throat at a New York City endoscopy center. The New York State Department of Health says that facility is now under investigation. Joan's daughter, Melissa, released a statement saying her mother passed away surrounded by family and close friends, and that fans should try to laugh again because it's what she would have wanted. Earlier this summer, I had an opportunity to interview Joan and asked her how it made her feel to know that her comedy was enjoyed by so many different generations.
My Fashion Police is a very young audience, and In Bed with Joan on the internet has a very, very young audience. And I find it wonderful that 20-year-olds come up to me and say, I love you, and you go, that's good. I'm doing Twitter, I'm doing Vine now. I love Vine. At 6 seconds on the internet doing a joke. It's fabulous.
Insult comedy.
Now, Ian Rivers' 2012 book, I Hate Everyone, Starting With Me, she wrote that she wanted her funeral to be a huge showbiz affair, even mentioning she wanted a wind machine so her hair would blow like Beyonce's. Her funeral will be Sunday. Joan Rivers was 81 years old.
All right, Jean, thank you. Now, 6:26 this morning. Today's top stories ahead at 6:30 plus. Putting the injury rumors to rest, Tom Brady held out of practice by the Patriots. Hear what he's now saying about his status for Sunday's opener against the Dolphins.
Right now at 6:30, following developing news on a Massachusetts doctor diagnosed with Ebola. This morning, he's heading back to the States for treatment.
Feds are searching for a homegrown terrorist with ties to Massachusetts. Why they think the Stoughton man may be working for ISIS.
And Whitey being relocated. We'll tell you why the Southie gangster is now in sunny Florida.
This is Fox 25 Morning News.
6:30 on the button. Morning, everybody, and thanks for spending some time with us here in the Fox 25 Morning News on this Friday morning.
Hope your morning's off to a great start. Dr. Rick Sacra, who we've been talking about, the third American diagnosed with Ebola, is expected to land in Nebraska within the hour. So we're going to bring you the details on that coming up just as soon as we know them.
All right, we're also tracking our forecast for the weekend. Looks like another summer-like day, Sarah, but into the weekend we have a little bit of a mixture.
Yeah, that's right. There's been a lot of people who have so many plans, from fairs to weddings, really wanting to know when we have the best chance of seeing some showers. And it looks as though it's going to be from about 1 p.m. on Saturday till about 10 p.m. That's where we have the risk of some, even a slight risk of some severe storms that could produce some heavy downpours, as well as some localized flooding and strong wind gusts. So we're going to have to keep our eye to the sky. But the rest of the weekend looks great. So right now, high pressure over our area. That means we've got dry conditions, a sunny day in store. Temperatures right now mainly in the 60s, so it's mild. Dew points are in the 60s, so it's a little bit sticky too, and that's going to be the trend. So muggy this morning at the bus stop with temperatures near 70 degrees. By this afternoon, we're seeing temperatures climb well into the mid to upper 80s, near 90 degrees. I think our best chances will be north and west of the city. For parts of the Cape and Islands, you may just top out in the upper 70s to low 80s. But of course, the heat is going to continue into the beginning part of our weekend, but we have the threat of some showers and storms heading our way. I'm going to time out those showers coming up in just a little bit. Gene, over to you.
All right, thank you very much, Sarah. Developing right now, a local doctor diagnosed with Ebola is on a plane expected to arrive at a Nebraska hospital within the hour. Dr. Rick Sacra is being flown from Liberia to the Nebraska Medical Center in Omaha for treatment. Sacra will begin the treatment in the hospital's isolation unit shortly after he arrives. He contracted the virus while working as a Christian missionary in West Africa. Sacra's wife says her husband was able to walk onto the plane and appeared to be in good spirits, but added that both of them knew the risks when he left for Liberia in August.
We are indeed praying that Rick will stay longer with us so that he can continue the good works that he has done in Liberia, and also caring for patients and teaching family practice residents in Worcester. But he would want you to know that he would not be afraid to pass into eternal life.
Sacra lives in Holden with his family. He is a family practice doctor in Worcester and an associate professor at the UMass Medical Center. This morning, the Nebraska hospital is tweeting updates about Dr. Sacra's arrival. They expect him to arrive between now and about 7:30 Eastern Time. We'll bring you continuing coverage throughout the morning. We'll let you know when Dr. Sacra arrives in the United States.
The search continues this morning for a Massachusetts man who may be playing a key role in recruiting ISIS fighters. Feds say the Stoughton man attended several Boston colleges and may be using his computer skills to help the enemy. Fox 25's Joy Lim-Nakrin is live in Stoughton this morning with the latest for us. Good morning, Joy.
Good morning, Shannon. Yeah, investigators say one of the most wanted men in the world grew up right here in Stoughton and was educated in local schools. Investigators also say he's part of a growing movement to get more Americans to join the cause of jihad. This is 33-year-old Ahmed Abu Samra, one of the FBI's most wanted terrorists. He's wanted for a host of federal charges, but the new fear is he might be working for ISIS. According to an ABC News report, he may be actively working to attract defected Westerners and including Americans, to join the group, who has already posted 2 videos of their gruesome beheadings of 2 American journalists. Abu Samra was born in France, but he grew up here in the Boston area in Stoughton. He attended Zavarian Brothers Private Catholic School in Westwood, graduated from Stoughton High, then went on to Northeastern University, where he made the Dean's List, then got a telecommunications degree from UMass Boston. Intelligence officials say computer skills make him very valuable to ISIS, who is extremely active across social media.
Knows the English language, somebody who is obviously taken into the jihad crusade. He's going to use those skills, the language skills and social media skills that he's probably developed here in the United States, to try and do what ISIS is doing. They're trying to recruit from within the Western civilizations, the Western countries, and try and get more people into their fight against our country and other countries like England.
Abu Samra is certainly not the only local man answering the call to jihad. In 2009, he was indicted alongside Sudbury resident Tarek Mahana on charges of conspiring to support al-Qaeda. Mahana, his childhood friend, is currently serving a 17-year prison sentence after his conviction. But Abu Samra fled this area in 2006 after federal agents questioned him at his Mansfield home. He is now believed to be in Syria, in ISIS-controlled territory. Federal agents tell Fox 25 that capturing him is a top priority, and they're offering a $50,000 reward for any information leading to his capture. We're live in Stoughton this morning. Joy Limnakrin, Fox 25 News.
All right, Joy, thank you. This morning, a New England compounding center pharmacist is under house arrest. FBI agents followed 46-year-old Glenn Chin to Logan Airport yesterday. He was arrested as he attempted to board a flight to Hong Kong with his family. Canton resident was the supervising pharmacist of the compounding center's clean rooms when authorities say the company was mass-producing contaminated steroids. Those tainted steroids triggered a nationwide outbreak of fungal meningitis back in 2012. Federal prosecutors say Chin fraudulently labeled medication as sterile when it wasn't, and then shipped it to a health facility in Michigan. In all, 751 people got sick, 64 died. Framingham Center has been shut down since the outbreak. Chin is charged with 1 count of mail fraud, which has a maximum sentence of 20 years in federal prison.
Convicted Boston mob boss James Whitey Bulger now behind bars in Florida. The 85-year-old serving 2 life sentences for his involvement in 11 murders. Bulger has been serving time in Arizona, but according to the U.S. Bureau of Prisons, he's now at a penitentiary in Florida. The reason for the move is unclear. Last year, Florida prosecutors issued an order to have Bulger transferred. He is charged in Florida for the 1982 murder of gambling executive John Callahan. According to the Boston Herald, Florida prosecutors say they had nothing to do with this move. They say it was a federal decision. Bulger's attorney says he has not been told why his client was moved.
Just 4 days before voters go to the polls in Massachusetts, and this morning there's a big change in one of the statewide races. According to the Globe, Maura Healey now has a big lead in the Democratic primary for Attorney General. The new poll shows Healey with a 15-point advantage over Warren Tolman. Last week, a similar poll had both candidates tied. In the last few days, Tolman has been endorsed by Governor Patrick and Boston Mayor Marty Walsh. No change in the governor's race, however, amongst Democrats. Current Attorney General Martha Coakley holds a 20-point lead over her nearest challenger, State Treasurer Steve Grossman. The primary is on Tuesday. 6:37 this morning. Melissa, over to you.
Shannon, thank you. Still to come on the Fox 25 Morning News, was it murder or a deadly mistake? A Georgia father now indicted for leaving his young son in a hot car. Plus, they were designer clothes. They wore them and they went on luxury vacations, but was it all dirty money? And now they're paying the price. Virginia's former governor and his wife gearing up for years behind bars for corruption. We'll have those details ahead. First, though, we're going to check traffic on this Friday morning as you head out the door. The Mass Pike eastbound, no major problems for you right now, commuting from the Weston Tolls to the Ted Williams Tunnel. 128, 495, both shaping up as well as you head around the inner and outer belts at this hour. Expressway northbound, heavily congested, though, traveling from Braintree Split to Columbia Road. And Route 3 North also snagged up for you at Union Street and Braintree as you get up to the Split. Be aware of that. 93 South, also slow go, barely moving from Concord Street in Wilmington to Montville Avenue in Woburn. You can expect a slow ride from Roosevelt Circle in Medford to the lower deck, as well as you drive into Boston. Take it easy out there on the roads. We'll be right back.
All right, let's check sports for you this morning. Hearts of Patriots fans skipped a collective beat After hearing that Tom Brady didn't practice yesterday, it's not what you want to hear 4 days before the season opener. Brady apparently has a calf injury of some sort, but don't panic. He is expected to play Sunday. Sources telling our Butch Stearns that it's not a problem. Brady will be out there in Miami. Brady did a radio interview at halftime of last night's game between the Seahawks and Packers. He talked with Jim Gray about the injury and his status for the weekend.
Yeah, physically I had the day off, but I got a lot of extra film in. I got a lot of mental reps in and walkthroughs and such, and I'll be ready to go Sunday.
No problem. You'll be out there?
I sure hope so. I mean, anything can happen for anybody between now and then, but I'm looking forward to playing Sunday.
Well, the NFL season now officially underway. Super Bowl champion Seahawks raising the championship banner in Seattle last night. And Seattle went on to have its way with the Packers, too. Game was tied at 10 in the second quarter. Marshawn Lynch finds the end zone from 9 yards out, barreling his way in as he does. The Beast had 2 touchdowns, rushed for 110 yards. Seahawks defense still mighty nasty. Aaron Rodgers back to pass, the strip sack by Michael Bennett. Packers recovering the end zone. That is a safety. Russell Wilson, pretty good night. Couple TD passes as well. He hits Derek Coleman, and Coleman takes it on in. A 15-yard scoring play. Seahawks roll in the opener. 36-16 is the final. Red Sox closing out their road trip and their series with the Yankees at the stadium. Sox got off to a great start in this one thanks to David Ortiz. In the first, he turns on this Chris Capuano offering. That clears the wall for a home run. Solo shot, 1-0. In the third, Ortiz at the plate again, and he does it again. Oh, he got out of that one. His 32nd home run of the year. He ups his RBI total to 98. 3-0 Red Sox, but the struggles of Koji Uehara continue. First, he blows the save. Serves up this fatty to Mark Teixeira in the bottom of the ninth, and the game is tied at 4. Koji's still in there. One batter later, he blows the game now. Chase Headley will take him over and out. That is a walk-off home run. Yankees rally to beat the Red Sox in dramatic fashion. 6-4, the final. Sox back home tonight hosting Toronto in the first of 3. Dustin Pedroia expected back in the lineup after missing the last 5 games with concussion-like symptoms. Speaking of Tom Brady, Steve Diassi will break that down in the Patriots season and Sunday's opener with VB at 8:55 this morning. Meanwhile, let's check that forecast with Sherry.
Well, thanks, Gene. I'm going to take it, of course. I knew it, right? Well, you know, you're talking about how they're going to be down and dealing with the heat and humidity. Well, guess what? They're dealing with it this week as we've seen temperatures in the 90s. And today we're going to be climbing to near 90. And you saw just a gorgeous picture of Boston this morning. A hazy sunshine. It's starting to get a little bit humid, though, too. So taking a look at what we usually see this time of year, only the mid-70s. We're going to do much better than that, at least in the Boston area. Until about 7-11, that's when the sun will set. So you have plenty of time to enjoy the day today. Dew point in the lower 60s. It is starting to creep up as winds are out of the southwest. That southwesterly wind direction will continue to bring in the heat and humidity. So if you want some relief, you need to head to the water. Temperatures closer to the coast, especially for the Cape and Islands, mainly in the upper 70s, low 80s. But your waves are running about 1 to 2 feet. Your rip current risk is low. Your UV index is high, so you need to make sure you hydrate and use sunscreen for the day today. And your high tide is shortly after 8 o'clock this morning. So taking a look at temperatures this afternoon, as I mentioned, the 70s for parts of the Cape as you head up along the South Shore. 86 in Marshfield is your expected high. We'll be climbing into the 80s through the interior with mostly sunny skies. Again, it's going to be humid, and as we head into the afternoon north of the city, best chances of touching near 90 in spots like Lowell, Framingham 89, Quincy 89 degrees your expected high this afternoon. So high pressure keeping us dry, which is a good thing. And you can see mostly clear across New England, but it's out to the west. We'll be watching a cold front. It'll get closer and closer for the weekend. So as it pushes closer, the heat and humidity will continue to move into the region on Saturday. So when you wake up, it's going to feel fairly tropical. We'll see dry conditions to start, but by the afternoon, that's when you need to take a look at the sky. If you see any threatening clouds and hear any thunder, you need to head indoors because the threat of those showers and storms will continue to increase from west to east through the afternoon and evening hours, producing some pretty heavy rain in some areas as we head towards the evening. This is our best chance. This front will push off the coast, though, so by Sunday, we're looking at brighter skies, cooler conditions, and it's going to be less humid. So Sunday, definitely the pick of the weekend. I'm trying to get to my 7-day forecast so you can see it here, but that's what we're going to expect to see is the best conditions. And the good news is the cool Dry conditions continue into early next week. So we've got a couple days of these hazy, humid conditions and the threat of those showers and storms Saturday afternoon and into the evening. Melissa, over to you.
Sarah, thank you. Checking headlines across America this morning, a grand jury has now indicted a Georgia father with murder for leaving his son in a hot car. Justin Ross Harris was arrested in June after leaving his 22-month-old son Cooper in the car for 7 hours while he went to work. Investigators say Harris left the boy in the car intentionally, but his attorneys contend it was just a tragic accident. If convicted, Harris faces the death penalty. The former governor of Virginia and his wife now facing long prison terms. Yesterday, a federal jury in Richmond found Bob and Maureen McDonnell guilty of public corruption. Prosecutors said they received more than $165,000 in lavish gifts and loans in exchange for doing favors for the CEO of a company that makes dietary supplements. Bob McDonnell was a rising star in the Republican Party before being charged. During the trial, the couple admitted that they were in debt and having marriage problems. They will be sentenced in January. 4 years after a massive oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico, BP may be forced to pay $18 million in new civil penalties. The 2010 Deepwater Horizon explosion killed 11 people, sent millions of barrels of oil gushing into the Gulf. British Petroleum has already spent $28 billion on cleanup efforts and criminal fines. Now the feds say the company should dole out much more. Yesterday, a judge ruled the company acted with gross negligence, and next year that judge will decide exactly how much more BP must pay for that spill. The company says it strongly disagrees with the decision. They plan to immediately file an appeal. Now let's send things back over to Shannon.
All right, Melissa, thank you. 6:48 now this morning. Still to come on the Fox 25 Morning News. Local protest ends with some arrests. Coming up, why these fast food workers ended up in handcuffs. And a look at the roads for you on this Friday morning. Skyfox over Route 95 and 128 in Canton right now. 95 north, you have a 30-mile-per-hour ride at Neponza Street in Norwood, working up and around the bottleneck and onto 128 right now. 128 north, you're gathering some volume at Route 1 in Dedham as you move up toward the Weston tolls. 93 south, a tight ride commuting from Route 125 in Wilmington to Montvale Ave and Woburn, moving towards the Leverett Connector this morning. Route 3 south jammed, getting from 495 in Chelmsford to Treble Cove Road in Billerica. Boston police need your help identifying two men connected to a series of robberies in the South End. The most recent one happened on Wednesday at the Food Basket on Columbus Avenue. Police say two men entered the store and demanded cash. Officials believe the men are responsible for 4 other robberies in the area. In each one, the suspects took off on bicycles. Anyone with information is asked to call Boston police.
Nationwide protest by fast food workers disrupts traffic in downtown Boston. Large crowd of restaurant workers and labor leaders demonstrated in Boston yesterday. 9 members of the group sat down in the middle of Washington Street and were arrested when they refused to leave. The demonstrators want fast food chains to pay employees $15 an hour. Right now, most make minimum wage or just a little bit more.
It takes all of us to come out here and tell them that we can't live. We can't live with $8. We can't live with $9. We can't live with $8.25. We can't live with $7.50 in some other states. Some other states get $7.50. We can't live off that.
Similar protests have been held in New York, Chicago, and Detroit. And a special thank you to employees from the city's Department of Public Works. Members of Access Beacon Hill presented them with a cake for creating accessible sidewalks for those in wheelchairs. The department's plan to remove thousands of square feet of bricks and replace them with concrete ramps was opposed by many Beacon Hill residents who claim the materials would take away from the historic aspect of Beacon Hill.
6:54 now this morning, still coming your way. We're going to check in with Matt at the assignment desk. He has the latest on a water main break. It apparently is going to take the whole day to clean up. We'll get that in a bit.
All right. Plus, with just 3 months left in office, Governor Patrick has planned another trip abroad. So is he still working for the Commonwealth or just padding his portfolio? The answer coming up at 7. What's going on, BB?
Compounding pharmacist arrested at Logan yesterday. The nature of his arrest, either really funny or really scary. We'll find out when we come back. In the meantime, Lily, you're on the loose, yay?
I am on the loose. Things start early on the Tugas Farm this morning. Pay no attention to that temperature gauge in the lower corner of your screen because we're giving you a preview of fall with pumpkin picking and apple picking and a whole lot more coming up. Come on, goats.
I want to Checking now on the live desk with Matt. You have an update on that big water main break in Sudbury.
Yes, actually, I just got off the phone with a spokesperson for the Sudbury Police and Fire Departments. They tell us actually in the area of the water main break, and there's some video from overnight. This is Horse Pond Road at Noyes Lane. Only 10 homes impacted right now for water service. Okay. That was higher overnight. They had to shut off multiple valves in order to get the water flow contained. And as they make repairs, there might be a spotty outage occasionally as they work. Police say that this will be closed throughout the day where this water main break occurred. So they're hoping people can use detours on Peakham Road, Dutton Road, and Union Ave in Sudbury, as it will be closed for most of the day while they make these repairs. But 10 homes, relatively small impact compared to the size of the water main break.
All right, thanks for the update, Matt. We appreciate it. Well, everybody, welcome to your Friday. The Fox 25 News at 7 starts right now.